Greetings, dear aficionados of hidden object puzzle adventures. Welcome to the HOPA Gaming channel, where we're about to embark on a musical journey through Maestro, Notes of Life. Will this game be as well orchestrated as its predecessor? Would it hit its audience with all the right notes? And would it keep you captivated from the opening overture to the encore? Without further ado, let's take our seats and savor the performance. Maestro, Notes of Life is the much anticipated encore in the Maestro series, released in January 2012, and it's composed by the virtuoso minds at ERS Game Studios. If you've ever enjoyed the first sonata in the series, Maestro, Music of Death, you already know the tempo, top-tier graphics, a captivating libretto, and immersive gameplay. In the overture, we are greeted by a little boy who enters a church and starts performing a haunting tune in front of a coffin with his violin. Later, the scene waltzes to our player's character, a detective, on a quest to find a little girl who went missing after getting lured by music. In the same village, there was once a music academy which went into rock and ruin after the death of its maestro. The crescendo of the plot begins when it's discovered that the little girl was kidnapped by the first game's villainess, Eva Kruger, now accompanied by a young violin-playing protege called Francois. Together, Eva and Francois make an evil duet set to raise the Academy's maestro from the dead in order for him to create the musical score that will bring immortality to those who seek it. First, let's talk about the visuals. ERS Game Studios' artwork is akin to a symphony of visual beauty. The opening scene looks like it's from an imposing diva demanding to draw all the attention to itself. Even the Queen of the Night's aria pales in comparison. From the gardens to the church cathedral to the Music Academy Hall ruins, each scene is a masterstroke of artistry. The color palette resonates with opulence, adding depth and dimension to the game's ambiance. Although I must warn you, my dear aficionados, that there is no available map in this game. Therefore, you'll have to swing into several rooms every now and then. And if you're losing the tempo of the game, fret not, because the journal and built-in strategy guide will be there for you. Should you wish to use the hint button instead, bear in mind that it refills slower than a lullaby tune, even on casual mode. As with many HOPA games with its first-person POV, our main character, the detective, tends not to take the lead in terms of characterization. The game mainly involves rescuing Alice, who also happens to be a child prodigy at violin playing, and seems to serve as a counter-melody to Francois, Eva's equally evil sidekick. The characters are as finely tuned as a Stradivarius, with their personalities resonating with the audience like a well-structured opera. In general, you'll find yourself engrossed in our game's journey through an ensemble world of danger, dark magic, and the harmonious power of music. Now onto the gameplay. Maestro, Notes of Life, delivers a sumptuous blend of hidden object serenades and challenging conundrums. The hidden object scenes are like a sonata of visual delight, offering just the right measure of complexity, although I must say that ERS Game decided to follow a formulaic structure very similar to the first game. So there was a grave danger of this game turning into a tribute act, trailing poorly after a much lauded performer. The good side of this is it grants consistency in keeping with the first game's leitmotif. Let's just hope that the later arias of the series will not follow too closely in its well-trodden path. As for the puzzles, it's like a rhapsody of brain teasers. From cerebral riddles to melodious enigmas, they are harmoniously interwoven into the story.
Ah, detective, how good of you to come.
Although the story premise and character dialogues might feel thin and rather straightforward, like a second-rate operetta. In some respects, it uses its other aspects to maximum capacity, such as its visuals and music, enough to turn it into a thrilling opera that keeps you on the edge of your seat. You'll feel like you'll want to unravel the secrets surrounding the dark oratorio of Eva Kruger and her protégé. Like its predecessor, classical music is the beating heart of this game. Although it's only composed of 4 pieces, the music is not merely a backdrop, but a vital component that enriches the player's experience, enveloping them in a melodic journey through the game's intricate narrative, and adding depth and emotional resonance to the classical music-inspired world. If you had the collector's edition, you can download these pieces to your computer. My dear audience, I'm ever so sorry if I must warn you that a dissonant revelation awaits. In other words, spoiler alert. The conclusion of the main game ends with the rescue of Alice from the shadow cloud right after a brief musical interlude with Francois under Eva's direction. But what happens to Francois and Eva? In the bonus game, it appears that Francois decided that he's had enough playing second fiddle to Eva and decided that he wanted to enjoy the gift of immortality himself, thus sending Eva to a grim swan song. Once again, as the detective, the player has to rely on their forte of finding clues and inventories to defeat the new adversary, although it meant that he's to come back for another time. Quite a cliche, but it seems like a fitting coda for this game. In conclusion, Maestro, Notes of Life is a virtuoso performance in the world of hidden object puzzle adventures. The sumptuous visuals, well-harmonized characters, haunting soundtrack, and an engaging storyline make it a must-see. Or should I say, a must-play for classical gaming aficionados. If you haven't witnessed this opulent symphony, you're in for a treat. And that concludes today's presentation, fellow music-loving gamers. Thank you for joining me in this melodious journey through Maestro, Notes of Life. Don't forget to applaud by hitting that like button, subscribe to the HOPA Gaming channel, and share your thoughts on this game in the comment section. Until our next harmonious encounter, keep on gaming, my virtuoso friends.